Fix errors, waste, and issues in a couple of clicks. Get alerted whenever you're off track. Sign up at trueclicks.com.
Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises to manage clients and projects with max efficiency, sharing Wix's SEO tech to help you drive growth.
Hey, so over the last couple of years, content has changed massively from the way that it's produced to the way that it's consumed. And that's mostly because of this thing called ChatGPT. I don't know if you've heard of it, but since it's come out, a lot of the way that we're producing content, or a lot of the way, especially for SEO, is just by scraping sitemaps and building out site structure based on that. Now, topical authority and topical relevance is still a massive part of SEO content strategies. But what happens when you've built out your topical maps and you've run out of ideas? Well, what I'm going to speak to you about today is how you can actually think of ideas without having to just rely on AI, but to also use social channels and build content that's actually relevant for your audience and stuff that they care about. But first, hello. My name is Saddiq. I've worked in digital marketing for a little while now. I've worked across a variety of different platforms from TikTok to Instagram, but more recently, I've been working in organic search. And that's where I feel like my background has really helped me to come up with content strategies and ideas for SEO as a bit different to my peers, because I usually go to social channels first when I'm trying to think of content ideas. Now, you're probably thinking, why would you look at TikTok when you've got a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush? And that makes complete sense. But as SEOs, we get into this kind of format where we over-rely on these tools and we kind of only do what everyone else is doing. We have this thing in our industry where we're obsessed with just copying what's already working and then working towards fixing that. The creativity is kind of dying within our content strategies, within our industry. Now, I'm not disputing that those tools work, but I'm just saying we need to step outside our comfort zone and actually think of new ways of creating content and new ideation ideas in order for our audience to actually continue to enjoy our content. Now, when I say keyword research, you probably think of something that looks like this. And as an SEO, this is one of my favorite sites, literally seeing a keyword research tool, Google Sheets. But the truth is, this is just what everyone else is doing as well. And we really have to stand out in order to really make our brands and our websites stand out compared to competitors. Now, I brought with me a Drake quote. If everyone doesn't know, I'm a massive fan of Drake, and there's a lot of beef in the hip-hop world right now between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, so I had to bring a Drake quote with me. But Drake has a lyric where he basically says that Mike never tried to rap like Pac, and Pac never tried to sing like Mike. Basically what he's saying is Michael Jackson and Tupac, they did completely different things, and they weren't trying to be the same. And that's part of the reason why they did so great. They weren't trying to copy each other. Now, that's the thing. Like I said, within our industry, we are literally Joe Goldberg level obsessed with copying competitors. And so we need to step outside of that and actually start doing things differently. But to do that, we need to start thinking about what content actually means to us, or what content means to you. So probably if you're an SEO, you're probably thinking that content means a blog post on your website, or something that's just a piece of content that leads to a customer converting. But for me, what I think content means is it's the language that you speak to your audience in. Now, if I was to sit down with you and I was going to have a conversation, I wouldn't just be speaking with my words. I'd speak with my mannerisms, my eye contact, my body language, all of these different things that come into play. And it's the same way that when someone's reading content, it comes in so many different formats. And it's not just in so many different formats, it's on a multi-platform level. It's not just people consuming content on Google or on Instagram. It's across multiple different levels. Few examples of that, you've got short form video in TikTok, you've got long form video, Pinterest boards, Instagram, blog posts. These are all different formats of content. Like they say, a picture paints 1,000 words, and all your audiences, they're enjoying content on all of these platforms. So why are you not researching the content you're putting on your website off this as well? Now, the first thing we have to look at to understand this is to look at how much content is actually consumed outside of Google. So I brought with me some numbers. So the first thing is that Google has around 4.9 billion users globally, but TikTok alone has 1.5 billion. That's B, by the way. That's a lot of people who are on TikTok alone, although it's not a lot compared to Google, but that's still 1.5 billion is a lot of people. What that means is there are so many people consuming content. A part of your audience is consuming content on these platforms. And the difference is as well, most SMEs, most business, even brands, they only produce between 5 to 10 blog posts a month. And if you're trying to get ideas based on your competitors there, think of it like this. Go to a TikTok page, people are producing 4 to 5 pieces of content a day. You're going to get a lot more ideas off that rather than just going to Google search. Now, Google is also not the only place that people are searching. I know there's been a huge debate within the SEO community of whether TikTok is a search engine or not, and I'm not here to contribute to that too much, but people are searching outside of Google. Platforms like TikTok, Reddit, Pinterest, even X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, people are searching on these platforms. And the thing is, we should be researching here because as search marketers, we have the skill set to be able to review and analyze content, search for it, because all of these platforms have a search functionality. We should be able to go there and literally search our seed keywords and pull in the content that we want, the ideas that we want. Now, it's interesting because I think that a lot of the search journey, what's happening right now with it is that Google's not actually being replaced. People are just starting their search journey earlier and the search journey is growing. So they might do a more generic style search on a platform like TikTok or on Instagram, and then they'll go over to Google to do actually a specific search for a brand or something related to that. Now, I've kind of mentioned why being different is important, but platform diversity also keeps you very relevant. And relevance is massively important in the climate that we're in because of everything that's happening now, where everyone's talking about like SEO heists and scraping competitors' sitemaps and why would you hire a writer, just post as many stuff, automate it and just get it out there to build your topical authority. It's in a space where everyone's doing this. Everyone's just copying each other. So we're in a space right now where we can't be copying each other. We need to bring that creativity back. Now, I didn't just bring Drake quotes with me. So this is a quote from Seth Godin, he's an incredible marketer, where he basically says that the only way to be indispensable is to be different. And I really want you guys to remember that right now. I'm really trying to hone that in on you because it is incredibly important now. But how do we do that? Well, we got to take a break from the data. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, wait, what do you mean take a break from the data? We're marketers. We love data. And it's true. I'm a big advocate for data and I love data as well. But the truth is with a lot of these tools, data is mostly historical. When you look at Ahrefs, SEMrush, it's similar to when you look at the stock market. You can give an average returns or an average search volume over the next couple of months, but it's mostly historical. So we need to just take that with a pinch of salt. And also the thing is, anyone who's in this room who does SEO or does search marketing, what you understand is you'll see on Search Console, a keyword will get a lot of volume, whereas you'll go to a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush, you'll notice, wait, this is just saying I only get 20 clicks per month or whatever, when really I'm getting thousands of clicks. So they're not exactly accurate all the time. Now, I think this is where zero search keywords come into play massively. So as part of researching on social channels, one thing that you'll find is a lot of the phrases and keywords that people are using on Google, it looks like if you used it in a tool that they have zero search volume. Now, once you've established your foundational content or you've already done like an evergreen style content strategy, you'll want to think of new ideas. And that's where this comes into play. The reason why zero search keywords for me, I find them important is because of this thing called first mover advantage. Now, first mover advantage is good because on Google, if you are the first person to create a piece of content around that, if Google's to crawl that page, it has to categorize it for a keyword for it to come up in search results. So around that piece of content there that you've produced, you are being categorized for some level of keyword authority. What that helps with is your topical authority. It increases your topical depth. That means you're covering a subject in such a niche authority because you're covering something that other people aren't talking about right now. So that's the first thing that's very important. Next thing is future-proofing your content, because if that topic does take off, and if you follow some of the stuff I'm going to show you in a minute, you'll be able to find keywords that should be popular enough to be relevant enough, and Google will say, oh yeah, these guys know what they're talking about. When it does pick up, you'll be the person ranking for it. The next thing is because these keywords, or a lot of times they're very niche, they're the only piece that's online. So when people need links to point back to that, then they'll be going to your piece of content there. So they're good for link bait as well, and getting natural links back. Now, I consult with a lot of companies, a lot of brands, a lot of agencies to help them with their content strategies with this tactic here. But I've also done it on my own sites. Now, I run a site that's in the home improvement space, and I did some research once I'd finished my topical map and my normal content strategy, and I was thinking we need to really stretch this out and we need to pull out some more niche keywords. And I picked a keyword based on my research tactics that was around this space, and it was off TikTok. And on the tool that we use on Ahrefs, it was saying that it would only have around 0 to 10 clicks per month, or volume per month, search volume per month. But when it went live, it was mad. Like, it was insane. So within the time period, it was up 70,000 clicks, 700,000 impressions, and there's countless other content that I've done for different agencies, from my own websites that have done the same thing. And it's crazy well, because it's ranked for a further 1,375 keywords. We were able to build more content clusters off the back of this, and it just worked really, really well. Truth is, though, this isn't always the case. So sometimes, yeah, you do get no clicks from it. That's something you have to understand. But again, like I said, a lot of data is historical, so that could happen with any level of keyword. But it usually works when you're out of ideas. So if you have got to that point where you've built out your topical map and you need more content ideas, this is where it comes into play. But the truth is, you're probably wondering, how do you do this? Well, I'm going to walk you through my step-by-step process of how I actually identify keywords, zero search volume from social channels, to help you actually build out your topical authority more. Step one, you've got to build out your buyer persona. So, like I said, I do like data, and this is where data comes into play. So, go on something like analytics, or pull in your data about your customers, your demographics, work out their psychographics, and then segment them based on customer feedback or the other information that you usually do to build out your buyer personas. Segment them, work out their goals, their interests, their hobbies, where they like to hang out online is very important. The seed keywords they like to search for, or around the topic that they like, their interests, and also the influencers they follow really helps with this as well. And then you want to build out something that looks a bit like this. So this is HubSpot's persona maker. I've just used theirs, so check it out. It is pretty good. But you can pretty much take a buyer persona and build it into something that looks like this. But like I said, the most important things that you need are seed keywords, the places they hang out online, and then also any kind of influencers or hashtags they might be searching based off their interests. Then on that, you need to pick platforms that have search functionality. So for this example, I'm going to talk about TikTok and Reddit. I could probably do a few more. I'm going to definitely do a video on this on my social media, so you can find me on there. I'll definitely do a video talking through a few of these other platforms. But TikTok and Reddit are the ones we're going to talk through today. But pretty much that means the first thing what you do is actually scroll your feed. So if your manager says to you, why are you spending half the day on TikTok? Say, Ray told me to. It's fine. You can go to SKK, get that screen time up. And then get a notepad out. I am an iPad kid, so if I have another screen there, I will get absolutely distracted. So I prefer to use a notepad and physically write this down, because otherwise I will get distracted. But I'll take my seed keywords, and this is for TikTok. I'll go on to their creator search insights. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's very similar to Google Trends. It's not exactly the same, but it's their version of it. And you get to see what's popular in terms of keywords, what people search and what people are interested in, and you can get related searches and things like that. So I'll take those keywords, I'll put it into there, I'll put it into the SERPs. So I'll look at what others have also searched for. I've looked at the videos, what's getting a lot of likes. You can filter by most popular. There's a lot of good filters on TikTok as well. And then finally, I'll look in the comments. So for the comments, you want to be looking for blue comments. So what that means is if a person's clicked on that a lot, or someone's searching on it after they've gone off that video, that means that TikTok is categorizing a lot of content around that. So that's a popular content. And the indicators I look for on this are the amount of likes, blue comments, the amount of shares. These kind of things give a good indication that this will actually perform well on Google. Another quick tip on that as well, if it's popular on two platforms, so not just TikTok, if you find a correlation between, say, TikTok and Reddit or TikTok and Instagram, there's a very good chance that that will do well on Google. So that's a good indicator to look for as well. Now, how I would do that, or how that my notepad would look like, is something like this. So I've done the research here on Dune because I watched the movie recently. I'm still obsessed with it. And here, I've taken a comment here, which is like, who won the fight at Dune? Now, when I'm trying to pick phrases to write down based on these comments, I'm literally trying to make sure that they're long tail. I'm not trying to go for like single keywords because, of course, on Google, they're going to be difficult to rank for anyway. But I want to make sure that, yeah, they're long tail, they're written in a way that is search friendly. And like I said, you can tweak this a little bit. This is where you can be a bit creative with it because it's not necessarily the same as SEO research. Then for Reddit, usually I do the exact same thing, go into the sub-communities, go into subreddits, do the same thing, take notes in the exact same way. However, for Reddit, what you can do as well is you can actually scrape it on the sub-communities using an SEO tool. So you can use a tool for this, but I would say pull as many keywords as you can from this as possible. Another thing to note is the type of language your users are using. So, for example, here, right, this is a TikTok language for the word pump cover. Anyone who goes to the gym, I don't, but there's this is a type of t-shirt or oversized jumper that you'd wear to like cover yourself up at the gym. Now, if I was Gymshark or if I was another fitness apparel brand, I would be looking at how people are speaking on these other platforms like TikTok. And then I'd be taking that language and taking it back to my website so I can really build on that niche authority, show my audience that I really know what I'm talking about. I know how you speak. I know the insides of this world. So that's a good example of that. And I'd take that away and I'd give that to my writers so that they know this is the type of language that's being used on these platforms. Then I will manually sort the data. Now I say manually because I do just use ChatGPT for this. But pretty much what I will do is I'll come out looking like this. I'll take my list of keywords or all of the things I've written down. I usually take a picture of my notebook and then copy and paste it in using Apple's function. And pretty much then run it through an SEO tool to see if it has any search volume. But like I said, there probably won't be any search volume for these keywords. I will then get ChatGPT to cluster it based on topic. And I know a lot of people in the SEO world don't really use ChatGPT for clustering things. I think it works really well for this because it's a zero volume keyword. If you put this into an SEO tool, zero volume keywords are really hard to cluster in an SEO tool. So I prefer ChatGPT for this. Obviously base it on like relevancy, if it's relevance or not, and things like that, and normal filtering techniques you do. But then you will have a list that you can cluster together into mini clusters and you can build out into your content strategy. And then you can make the content come to life. But before you go ahead, there is one thing that you do need to do, which is check for cannibalization. So a lot of the brands I've worked with, I've made this mistake myself as well many times because it's not necessarily SEO research we're doing here. We're doing research that's off platform. So sometimes you might already be ranking for these keywords. So it's super important that you check for cannibalization. So just, quick top tip there. Then work out what you want to do with it. So there's two things you can do this. You can either put it into its own content cluster, which I don't think works very well. I found the most success when I put it into existing content clusters. The reason being is because those content clusters you've already got on your website, they're already being crawled by Google. That means by adding this in, all you're doing is adding to that authority, and it's easier for Google to reach that. So there's more chance of you indexing faster, the more chance of you being able to get crawled faster, and more chance of your audience seeing it. And then, have fun building content. But pretty much just now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with a few key takeaways from this. So the first thing is please start using social media to inform your strategy, because we're not in 2004 anymore. Social media is here to stay. I don't know why everyone ignores it. We need to be using it to research. The next thing is don't be afraid of zero volume search keywords. They're not scary. They're fine. Use them. Then speak how your audience speaks. Maybe not in completely, make sure it's as generic as possible so a lot of people can understand your content, but include references, inside jokes, industry insights that only your audience will understand so they know you know what you're talking about and Google can pick up on that as well. And then finally, please have fun, because content marketing to me is the fun part of marketing, right? This has been the part that's supposed to be magical, it's supposed to be creative. And right now it's turning into something where we're just scraping with ChatGPT and we're just automating the whole process. Have a little bit of fun with it and produce content. But thank you.
Demand sphere. Limitless visual insights from the SERPs. Unlimited dashboards and users. Easy to use and easy to scale your growth to new levels.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.